Test molt box. Molt box test. Test molt box. Molt box test. Test. Molt box test. Molt box. Molt box test. Test molt box.
to invite all of the legislators to the chambers so that we can begin our legislative meeting. All right, I'm going to call this meeting of the Nassau County Legislature to order. I would ask everyone to please rise. Legislator Arnie Drucker will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Mike, can you call the roll, please?
Thank you, Presiding Officer. John Giuffre.
Present.
Deputy Presiding Officer Howard Copel. Alternate Presiding Officer Denise Ford. Legislator Sila Bino. Thank you. Legislator Carrier Solage. Legislator Debbie Muley. Legislator Mazi Pilip.
Here.
Legislator Delia Gerigi Witten. Legislator James Kennedy. Legislator Thomas McKevitt. Here. Legislator Laura Schaefer.
Here.
Legislator John Ferretti. Here. Legislator Arnold Drucker. Legislator Rosemarie Walker. Here. Legislator Joshua Lafazan. Here. Legislator Stephen Rhodes. Minority Leader Kavan Abrahams. And Presiding Officer Richard Nicolello. Thank you, sir.
All right, we have a quorum, correct?
Yes, we have a quorum.
All right,
Sorry.
Thank you. All right, so we have several presentations to make before we go to the business portion of the meeting. We start off, as we always do, with the top cop presentations. We have 1 point of personal privilege. We then go into the public comment portion of the meeting. If you intend to make a comment here, we'd ask that you please submit a slip to the folks at the table right down here at the clerk's office, and you'll be called up for a comment.
Presiding Officer, I was negligent in Legislator C. William Gaylor III. Are you here?
I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
We just wanted to welcome you, Ms. Lorenzo. You have very big shoes to fill, but we're sure you're going to be up for it. And we just wanted to obviously thank Frank again for his time with us, but then also welcome you to the legislative body as well. But thank you.
Presiding Officer, I guess I'm having a bad morning here. So,
Afternoon.
yes, that as well. Legislator Denise Ford. Yes, thank you.
So let's start things off with the top cops. We have, for the PBA, to make a presentation, John Shanahan, the Financial Secretary.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank you all for having us here today. On August 20th at approximately 1920 hours, CERT police officers Fagan and Engardia were assigned with narcotics vice detectives Ingram and Hayden, investigating a motel in the 2nd Precinct. While there, they observed a suspicious vehicle and decided to follow the vehicle. After observing a VTL violation, the officers conducted a car stop. During the investigation, officers observed that one of the occupants, a 48-year-old male, appeared to be in distress. All 4 occupants were removed from the vehicle, at which point one of the backseat passengers, defendant Taylor Salmarone, attempted to flee on foot. As defendant Tyler Salmarone was fleeing, he removed a large machete hidden in his shorts and threw it to the ground. Officers were able to place defendant Tyler Salmarone under arrest, in which during the process he violently resisted. The driver, defendant Jonathan Hernandez, and the female juvenile front seat passenger were both placed under arrest without further incident. A subsequent investigation revealed that the male victim, 48, was lured to the Edgewood Motel, where he was held against his will and forced to relinquish his keys, phone, and money while being threatened with his life at knife point. It was determined that the 3 arrestees were MS-13 gang members. They were charged with multiple felonies, including robbery and kidnapping. Due to these officers' dedication, observational skills, and experience, 3 dangerous gang members were taken off the street and a life was saved. The Nassau County PBA is proud to announce police officers Kyle Fagan, John Engardia, as well as detectives Christopher Ingram and Ryan Hayden as legislative top cops for September of 2022. We have Deputy First Commissioner Kevin Smith here. He'd like to say a few words.
First Deputy Police Commissioner Kevin Smith. Well, good afternoon, everyone. How many of us go to work and face the fact that their next encounter with someone is going to be a violent struggle? Thank goodness not many here in Nassau County. You heard the term car stop. There's nothing routine about it. The recognition ability, being able to detect that something is amiss, that something more serious is at hand, based solely on body language, demeanor, verbal clues, is so important in policing. By developing these skills, we detect criminal activity. We detect suspicious activity. We might even be able to interpret that someone has an emotional problem and needs professional help. In this instance, clearly our officers could see that there was criminal activity afoot. I can't praise them enough for interpreting a serious situation, for taking the appropriate action, and in all likelihood, preventing the victim from losing his life. Officers, well done.
If one of the officers would like to say anything? Either of you? You don't have to. Yeah.
Come on, give me something.
On behalf of me and John, we'd like to say thank you for the recognition, and we'll continue to keep working hard for everybody in this county. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Legislator Schaefer, then Legislator Drucker would like to say something.
Thank you. I think First Deputy Smith put it very well. This is just such a great example of how your training plays into you going out and doing what you have to do every day to keep the residents of Nassau County safe. As also was said, we don't face those kind of dangers on a daily basis, at least, we hope we don't. Because of your hard work and because of your training, we don't have to, most of the time. And that's why we're here to support you, and that's why we want you to know we're very, very grateful for your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Once again, our very brave and heroic Nassau County police officers demonstrated not just their valor, but amazing intuition, intelligence, and keen observation skills, which can only be attributed to their incomparable training. I am familiar with the particular location where this incident first unfolded because it is the site of one of 3 disgusting, uninhabitable, crime-ridden motels on Jericho Turnpike, which sadly house some of our county's homeless population. And based on my past conversations with NCPD and the Jericho Fire Department, they have been responding to incidents there on a daily basis for years. However, that's another matter that I've been railing about for years. Thankfully, though, these brave, perceptive, and proactive officers prevented a murder from taking place. They observed, they planned their next moves with precision, and always by the book. When it was the right time to take action, they did so without hesitancy and complications. The perpetrators of this crime were bad people, and I, for one, and I'm sure everyone else up here and throughout the county, feel a lot better because preventing this murder by putting these people away, God only knows how many other murders and violent crimes they would have committed. So we thank you on behalf of all of the residents of the county and who each of us have the privilege of representing.
Legislator Bino.
Good afternoon, officers. I just wanted to publicly thank you for all that you did. Your apprehension of that individual at that location was tactfully and thankfully executed very well. It happened right outside and right out front of the Westbury Middle School. And that middle school is utilized as almost as a community park. So you have people jogging, walking, folks playing soccer, and the like. And I happened to be riding by that evening when the stop was taking place. And so I witnessed that you had it under control, so I just continued on going home. But nonetheless, I want to say that you really did it very, very well, and it didn't put the community in jeopardy at all. And I thank you for all that you did, because I witnessed those kids playing in the park. And if that young man had gotten away with that machete, we don't know how that would have ended. So God bless you, and may God keep you. Thank you.
Legislator Walker.
I, too, just want to thank you so much for your dedication and for really being able to apprehend this person who could have done tremendous danger, more murder in our county. And I just wanted to thank each and every one of your families, because it's, as Officer Smith said, that, you know, you don't know what you're going to face each day, but nor do your families. And I know you have young families here with you today, and I can't imagine what they go through every day, hoping and praying that you're going to go to work and come home safely. So I want to thank you and thank them for all they give up for all of us. So God bless you all and stay safe.
And Legislator Rhodes.
This is a prime example of why it is every single month I love our Top Cops presentations, because it's an opportunity for us to highlight some of the amazing work that you do on a daily basis. And for those of you who are standing here today, there's 2,500 individuals standing behind you who protect and serve our communities every single day of the year. And you know, I know that you have been, no matter what challenges are thrown your way in terms of legislation coming out of Albany, in terms of challenges that are thrown to you by criminals, we are blessed as Nassau County residents to have men and women like yourselves who rise to that challenge and make sure that we're safe. So thank you, great work, God bless you, and may God continue to keep you safe.
I just have one question. How did he get a machete in his shorts? I can't understand that. But it's all good.
All right.
Only you would think of that.
All righty. We will have you up for a presentation in a moment, so we'll bring the DA up now. The AI up now. So we'll ask you to please go to the side. And for the Detectives Association presentation, I'd like to invite up Tom Deglinski from the 3rd Squad Detectives.
Good afternoon. My name is Thomas Deglinski. I'm Nassau County Detective Association delegate for the 3rd Squad. I would first like to thank Presiding Officer Rich Nicolello and Minority Leader Kevin Abrams and the full legislative body for taking the time to honor Detectives Ryan Price and Thomas Daly of the 3rd Squad today. On April 22nd, 2022, at approximately 0800 hours, Detectives Ryan Price and Thomas Daly from the 3rd Squad were called to the scene of a male who had been assaulted. He was found in the rear near the dumpsters of the Chuck E. Cheese restaurant located at 162 Fulton Avenue in Hempstead. The victim was transported to Winthrop Hospital, where he was found to have severe facial trauma and bleeding on the brain. The victim was breathing, but he was unconscious and unresponsive. He was unable to provide at that point any statements or information regarding the case to the investigating detectives. Detectives Price and Daly spent the first day conducting an exhausting video canvass, exploring all routes the suspects may have taken. Their investigation revealed that the victim was assaulted at approximately 0100 hours, and that the subjects arrived and fled on foot through the parking lot of the Chuck E. Cheese restaurant in the direction of High Street. So they called the crime scene unit to respond and requested that they collect multiple swabs of blood and collected several pieces of bloody clothing. The detectives Price and Daly then both went to High Street Deli, located at 67 High Street in Hempstead, which is a known drug and gang location and a very high crime area. Several individuals often congregate there at all hours of the day. Both detectives began speaking to various individuals at the vicinity, striking up conversation with anyone willing to speak. Subsequently, an individual approached them, indicating that he was interested in talking to them, but in private. That individual provided the first name and street name of a subject, Tyrell, aka Country, who had bragged about his involvement in the assault to the witness the evening prior. Furthermore, witness 1 provided a specific description and distinct clothing worn by the subject. Detectives Price and Daly shortly thereafter responded to the hospital to ascertain the latest update regarding the victim's condition. The doctors advised that the victim was critical but stable and would suffer from major mental defects for the remainder of his life. Detectives responded back to Hempstead and continued their canvass for more video. During that time, they discovered an individual matching the unique description that the subject on Franklin Avenue and Jackson Avenue in Hempstead. Detectives Price and Daly approached the subject, calling him by his street name, to which he responded, and they verified his first name was Tyrell, which matched the name provided by the witness. The detectives observed blood on his clothing, and during a pat-down, they recovered an open knife with had dry blood on it as well. Detectives recovered narcotics and narcotic paraphernalia and placed Guthrie under arrest and transported him to the 3rd Squad to interview him and process his arrest. At that point, Guthrie waived his Miranda, provided a statement of admission acknowledging his participation, and implicated a second individual by the street name of Midnight. While continuing the investigation, Detectives Price and Daly were notified of another possible witness who interacted with the second subject, Midnight, regarding the assault. They located the witness and conducted an extensive interview. Following that, they reduced her statement into writing and corroborated her account by the video they had retrieved from the High Street Deli. Additionally, witness 2 provided the identity of a third witness who was present during the assault. At this time, detectives did not have the proper identification for subject Midnight at this time. A few days later, they were advised that Midnight was using narcotics and trespassing at a particular location in Hempstead. Detectives Price and Daly contacted the Hempstead patrol officers, requesting that they may arrest Midnight for trespassing and secure his fingerprints in order to ascertain his proper given name. The name subsequently came back to them as Dennis Ray. Detectives then located witness 1 and secured a statement from him, as well as a positive identification in a photo array for subject number 1, Tyrell Guthrie. Detectives re-interviewed witness 2 and secured a positive identification in a photo array of subject 2, Dennis Ray. Detectives Price and Daly also located witness 3, who identified both Ray and Guthrie as individuals who committed the assault and the robbery by naming them in her statement, and provided a positive identification in a photo array of both Ray and Guthrie. After securing the statement from witness 3, Dennis Ray was located, placed under arrest, and transported to the 3rd Squad, where he waived his Miranda and provided a full statement of admission to the crime. Detectives located the victim's employer who signed a statement attesting to the fact that he had paid the victim in cash on the day of the assault, corroborating the robbery charge. Lastly, they located the 911 caller, who recounted in a written statement what she observed prior to and after her call. As a result of Detectives Price and Daly's efforts, diligence and persistence in this case had a successful conclusion, with both subjects being charged with assault in the first degree, robbery in the first degree, and 2 counts of robbery in the second degree. The detectives had several obstacles to overcome, including the subjects who were primarily known only as their street names, and victim who was unable to speak to them or communicate in any way throughout the entire investigation. However, in their constant communication with the victim's daughter, and in order to seek justice for her, built a rapport with a variety of individuals who are often less eager to speak to detectives, which concluded with the arrest of these 2 subjects. Okay. At this point, I'd like to introduce First Deputy Police Commissioner Kevin Smith.
Good afternoon again, everyone. So as a former chief of detectives, I've always admired detectives that show dogged determination and grit to get the job done. This is one of those cases. They cleared every one of the hurdles, and you just heard, that were put in their path to find the offenders. Made the case and effected the arrest. And like all good detectives, continued on and build a good case, to solidify the case after the arrests were made as well. These defendants had absolutely no regard for others and prey on the hardworking people of Nassau County. Thank God that strong-willed men and women exist in your police department, whose persistence and resolve will not waver. So once again, thank you for honoring our police officers and our detectives. And detectives, thank you for a job well done.
Legislator Bino.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Detectives, I thank you on the behalf of the residents of Legislative District 2, in particular those that reside in the village of Hempstead. Your police training, your ability to investigate this crime, but more importantly, your innate and authentic desire to serve that family with a symbol of justice and provide them with some solace in what was a horrendous crime and a very traumatic time for the family, goes beyond words. This actually could have been one of those stories for 48 hours, the first 48 hours. You guys got right in and you made sense of a story that the victim couldn't tell. And it led you through a very, it seems like a meandering web of circumstances, but you were able to follow it through and make sure that you found the perpetrators of this crime. And I know that it'll be a long time coming for this gentleman to recover, and you know, the physical torment that he's gone through, but mentally, hopefully he can get beyond what occurred because of all that you did. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I say, you know, training is one thing, but the bravery and the authenticity of service is really what is at the core of good policing. So thank you again.
I don't know if Detective Price or Daly would like to say a word or two.
Sure, thank you.
Sure.
I just want to thank the legislature. I'd like to thank First Deputy Commissioner Smith, as well as the Commissioner and all the chiefs that are here for coming. And again, I just appreciate you guys' recognition. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we'd like to invite you up for a presentation with the legislature. Good job, well done. Thank you. Our next order is a business is a point of personal privilege, and I call upon the Minority Leader, Kavan Abrahams.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Today it gives me great honor to present on behalf of the entire legislature as well as all our constituencies to citations to the Brown Boys, which many of us know. Mr. Williams, who is a member and a part of the group, but the Brown Boys just recently, back in July, it was on BET. They just won the Stellar Gospel Music Award, which those that are not familiar with the Stellar Gospel Music Award, it's the Grammys of gospel music. So it's a very distinguishable award that they received at the 37th annual Stellar Gospel Awards ceremony. Just to give you a brief history, the members of the group are Curtis, Dennis, Willie, Joe, and Willie Jr. And as I said before, we've recognized Joe here before during his 40th anniversary as well. But the group was, that deserves recognition as well. But just to put it into context, the group has been assembled and been around for since 1982. They've been around for 40 years. This type of achievement does not go unnoticed, and we definitely in the legislature want to recognize them for their work. They have been a gospel group for that period of time. Many of us that have spiritual within us, spiritual guidance within us, appreciate their music and appreciate what they do. We have citations for all 5 members today that's signed by all of us that I would like to present to them now. But I do want to ask them if they would like to come to the podium and share any revelations on their 40-year existence, as well as winning this very distinguishable award. As I said before,
good afternoon to the legislature.
If Will could come up as well. I thought I saw Will here earlier.
Will. My name is Joe Williams. Some of you might know me around here. This is Willie Brown. This is Curtis Brown. Our brother Dennis Brown couldn't make it. But we just want to thank Legislator Abrahams,
yes,
Presiding Officer Nicolello, and the entire legislature for taking the time out to recognize us. Also, I want to say publicly to thank the county executive for recognizing us as well. You know, it's good to sing all over the country, but to be recognized by home, that's a big, big thing. That's a big thing to us, and we give God praise for allowing us to be able to spread the gospel through song, and we ask you guys to keep us in your prayers as we continue to represent Nassau County. So when you think of the Billy Joels, the Pat Benatars, Chuck D, Flavor Flav, Aaron Hall, Guy, please don't forget the Brown Boys.
We won't.
Thank you.
And just before I let anyone else that wants to speak, the Brown Boys have been on the top of the Billboard charts as well, and they have achieved the success of accomplishing 3 albums, right, Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir.
As well. So this timing of them getting this award is definitely signifies a lifetime of success as well as work, and we just want to be thankful that you're able to continue to provide the society, community with such great music, but at the same time, you're doing it in the name of in God and Lord, and we appreciate that as well. I'm getting requests from the members up here to if you could sing, I guess sing something. But I do know I know, Robin, you had mentioned that you saw Willie Jr. I don't know if he realizes we also have a citation for him as well, but he's more than welcome to join you gentlemen as well.
Actually, Willie
the third.
Willie the third
Yes.
is Willie's son, and he plays drums for
Yes,
us.
yes. I know. So I saw him taking pictures in the back with his phone, but no, we're not going to put them. We were just joking, Mr. Williams. About, they're serious. They're serious.
Hey, really? Oh man. All right. We're missing 1/4 of the group, so
It might be okay. Totally understandable. Well, I do have citations. Oh.
When God dipped his pen of love in my heart, he writes my soul a message that he wants me to know. His spirit, love divine, fills this sinful soul of mine. God dipped his love in my heart.
We just want to say once again really quickly to all of you, Joe pretty much said it all, but thank you guys for the recognition. Like he said, we travel all over the country, but to be honored in our home, it means so much to us. And just to know, everywhere we go, we represent Nassau County, New York. Everywhere we go. Thank you. One quick more thing. We also just want to recognize our mother. We lost Dad back in 2003, but who started this whole group as kids. They kept us together. They kept us in church and kept us out of trouble. And we just want to recognize our mother, Mother Anna Brown, as well. Thank you.
I see Willie Jr. keeps disappearing into the back, but we would like to bring you guys... Willie the Third, sorry. Willie the Third. I'd like to bring you guys up to the legislature up here and be able to present you with the citations individually. Ms. Brown, would you like to come up as well?
Okay, we're going to go to the public comment portion of the meeting. One of our appointees has to leave early, so I'm going to start the public comment portion, see how long it goes, and if it goes beyond a half an hour, we'll stop it for the moment, have the appointee come in, and then we'll go back to public comment. All right, starting off with David Stern.
Hi, good afternoon. You know what, I just wanted to ask, would you be able to do my colleague first? Because my talk was kind of following hers. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
We have several speakers from the college. You can all come up if you want. Suzanne Kabnick, Richard Ginsburg, and Izalda. Whoever wants to speak first, we've got four of you.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. My name is Professor Richard Ginsburg. I'm the chair of the Theater and Dance Department at Nassau Community College, and I'm going on my 39th year of a 59-year-old program, and it's been my privilege to be an educator at this department and also a Nassau County resident. There's a great advertisement that we've all grown up with, is a diamond is forever. And Nassau Community College has been a gem for the students and the community alike, and our gem needs polishing. We count on our legislature to give us the tools and the equipment, not just to shine up the gem, but to increase its value. President Calvin Coolidge is quoted by saying, "The business of America is business." Well, now the communication arts is how business makes business. National companies are clamoring for creative artists who can write, copy, produce videos, scripts, commercials, act, shoot, create content for direct sales and advertising. The mission of our department is to educate and promote professional and college transfer in these three areas. For every dollar spent in theater, 8 are made by surrounding businesses. When Broadway closed down, so did New York. There are thousands, and I mean thousands, of working graduates and alumni in a multi-billion-dollar business here on Long Island. Polish the gem. Keep the business in Long Island, create the education and the opportunities. Hundreds of businesses in Nassau are run by former Nassau Community College graduates. Acting studios, dance studios, stores, retail houses, all stem from the theater and dance program at Nassau Community College. We have 10 former students on Saturday Night Live, not including just Billy Crystal, Bob Nelson, and Jim Brewer, and not everybody was a comedian. Channel 12 news commentator Leah Tyrell, Antoinette Bordardi, New York City Hollywood producers and writers, Sunday Morning with Jane Pauley, 2-time Emmy Award winnings, all from the alumni of Nassau Community College theater program. Broadway, movies, television, commercials, and lawyers, doctors, nurses, firemen, and EMTs, and I'm sure lawyers and politicians. We need your help to polish this gem. In 2022, even at the top of the pandemic, the Theater and Dance Department was voted by 80,000 Long Islanders as one of the top 3 performance venues in Nassau County. Our department received accolade letters from Albany in regards to our focusing and supporting our students' education. During these conditions of support and growth, even the massive strain of the pandemic, there were 8 full-time faculty members in my department. There are now 2. The previous administration saw no validity in the arts and humanities, but 80,000 residents in Nassau, students and faculty, beg to differ. The new interim president, Dr. Maria Canzati, has personally and publicly supported the Theater Dance Department this semester and was able to award us a temporary full-time position that makes 3. And by doing so, just by the one faculty member, the data shows a 27% increase in our department and student involvement. Last week, hundreds of students auditioned for 2 of our shows this semester. showing an interest and a need for expression so necessary after the pandemic for them and our college and our community. Maria needs more help. May I advertise Flea in Her Ear, Classic French Farce, and Shrek the Musical, Please Bring Your Families, December 2nd. In the spring, we have an opportunity for a production with Kindertransport, and we'll raise money for the Ukrainian students and families in Nassau County. And a new production just off Broadway, 73 Miles to Go, will be able to have a Broadway playwright in residence working with our students and faculty. Last semester, we created a new event for our school, Arts Alive, an interdepartmental performance event with 7 departments of art, music, dance, theater, interior design, African American studies, and English. In addition, Long Island businesses and Long Island High School of Performing Arts presented over 100 students on stage in a 4-night changing review, which led me to understand what killed Ed Sullivan. Ed Sullivan had more faculty.
Professor, just please sum up.
Am I finished? Is that it?
Yeah, you can sum up, yeah.
For 59 years, from Broadway to TV, from radio to TikTok, from Billy Crystal to our newest freshman, because they had a dream, and they wanted to start their dreams at Nassau Community College throughout our entire school. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Isolde Maxim. I am the chairperson of the art department at Nassau Community College, and I think maybe some of you met me when you had a wonderful tour. So I just want to kind of back it up a little bit on the last sentence. I'm the product of that dream. In 1992, I immigrated to United States from Ukraine to build my life here. I went through schooling. I started with Nassau Community College, which gave me amazing base for the rest of my life. I ended up going to Parsons School of Design and earning my MFA degree. Today, I'm the chairperson of the art department, and I'm here to talk to you about how wonderful this opportunity, this college is for people like me, people who come from all different walks of life. I just want to briefly talk to you about the department that I represent. When I started to work at the college in 2002, there was 25 full-time faculty in the art department. As of today, there's only 11 faculty. We offer, as of right now, we offer 4 degrees and 3 certificates. Last year alone, we developed 4 new degrees, and just to name, it's web development, game designing, animation, UI, UX design. We really want to bring to the college and to offer students whatever is the most important now on the market. We want to educate these students. We want to give them jobs. We want to give them opportunities. Also, just last year, we offered 17 new courses. Again, these courses somewhere else, if you go to another art school, if you go to neighboring schools, private schools, students cannot afford this education. We offer it for a fair price. To get a little bit off of what we offer, but also talk about our art and programs that outside of the classroom. Right now, Plaza Art Gallery is going to start a new show called Arta della Borghegna, which is in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. And we will have a press release this Thursday, as well as this Thursday we're going to have an opening reception. And I would like to all of you to come to this reception and come and see in general what is art department has to offer. And I think when you see it in person, it's a very different feel. And again, I really would ask you for your support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
this already on? I think it is. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Suzanne Kabnick. I'm a professor in the English department and secretary for its Union of Full-Time Faculty. The hashtag NCC for 2023 campaign we started in May raised more than 700 signatures. Originally, we asked the NCC administration and its Board of Trustees for a budget that included an increase in operating funds. No success. Then we asked for a supplementary budget. It does not look likely. The college projects a deficit of $21 million over the next coming years. At the same time, our full-time faculty is aging out and departments have been denied hires for years. Over the last decade, the number of our administrators has increased dramatically and the full-time faculty has decreased dramatically. That policy looks to continue as the college's 2023 budget projects a 26% increase in administration. Here's how this negatively impacts the college. In our biology department, only one teaching faculty member is younger than 56. This year, the department was able to hire 2 one-year temporary instructors, but for long-term stability, it needs to hire faculty on tenure-track lines. Without long-term full-time faculty, we won't receive such grants as the $5 million grant Nassau Community College and Hofstra University's biology departments received from the National Science Foundation this year, enabling 90 hardworking students from underserved communities in Nassau County to begin their college education in a STEM field at NCC, receive intensive mentoring, and then continue on to Hofstra. We need full-time faculty to ensure NCC's stability, to mentor its students effectively, and to plan academic programming, such as securing similar grants and initiatives in the future. We are also proud of the ambition and drive of faculty in our nursing department. They too have secured a grant enabling a few hires. But the truth is our 4-year program turns away applicants for lack of full-time professors. Suffolk Community College's nursing program has many times our number of students. Of course, growing the enrollment in our nursing program would help grow the whole college. Our academic programs need seed money, your investment to grow, expand, and serve Nassau County as the county deserves. It is a mystery why the college administration has not asked for more money. NCC is 15 years without an increase in its operating budget. This represents a loss in real money after inflation of about $21 million, about the same amount as the college's expected deficit in coming years. The college recently presented the idea of vocational training to you, electrical and plumbing. The truth is these are complicated and expensive programs which will not significantly add to enrollment. So we hope the college will look to partner with industries that equip them, fund them, and provide the necessary hands-on training to complement classroom instruction. And we do have many academic programs that are ready to be implemented but require full-time faculty hires. If we wish to preserve NCC, maintaining the college that is estimated to have served 1 out of 4 residents and moving it forward into the future. Thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you very much. David Stern. Come on.
First, I want to thank you, Legislative Nicolella, for letting me go after Suzanne. I'm Dr. David Stern, a professor of physical sciences at Nassau Community College, and also the vice president of our full-time faculty union. I'd like to follow up on what Suzanne had said, and one message I hope you all remember is that the NCC faculty want to move forward. In fact, we've wanted to move forward for years, for several years. Our departments have proposed over 30 shovel-ready workforce development programs, and I'd like to share some of the ideas, and hopefully you'll hear these and think they are worthy of support. I'm just going to go through some of them because they're so numerous. One is to develop a physical therapist assistant program. Another, to increase the diversity in our criminal justice program, which the degree is one of the most popular degrees at our college. Create a 2-year construction management degree, including an internship with that degree. Open a small business development center on campus. Partner with the Small Business Administration and economical development agencies. A lot of them you fund here in the county, and so that it could play a role in supporting existing and future businesses by advising, counseling, and training. This is dear to me because it's in my area, and that's create a micro-credential. This is some of the newest thinking in SUNY. Create a micro-credential, it's only 1 or 2 courses, which leads to a certificate, which then can lead to an associate's degree in GIS, Geographic Information System, the 3rd fastest growing technology field. Create, again, a micro-credential, a certificate, an associate's degree in environmental monitoring. As we know, the environment still needs a lot of cleaning up and monitoring, and there's a strong need to train students to be able to go right into the field and do this. Create an associate and certificate degree for certified alcohol and substance abuse counseling. I have many more here, over 30 of them. They're all shovel ready to go. As those of you that have attended Nassau Community College know that our college's greatest strength is our faculty. Our faculty have worked in and have firsthand knowledge of the employment opportunities and the community's needs. And it's this faculty that have proposed these numerous workforce development degrees and certificates. We want to have these initiatives funded so we can develop micro-credentials that lead to certificates, that lead to associate's degree, that can even lead to bachelor's degrees if appropriate. Just a few more minutes. With regard to the vocational programs like HVAC, plumbing, electricity.
We can't do a few more minutes, but you can sum up.
Just 1 minute. I'll try and keep it very short. Thank you. Thank you very much. As far as the vocational programs, these have been developed with, these need to be developed with a lot more thought. Suffolk Community College has had many more years than Nassau in experience in these types of programs. And what we found that in addition to going to Suffolk Community College to get the vocational certificate, if you will, most of those students actually want to get the degree, the associate's degree, at a rate 10 times greater than just getting a certificate. And the reason for that is because they know if they want to go further, they can't just be just the entry-level vocation. They want to open up a business or manage a business, and these are skills you get at the community college. So we need help in encouraging the Nassau Community College administration to take our strategic planning seriously. These ideas are in our strategic plan. They've been there for several years now. The plan has not been updated in 3 years, and they've abandoned pursuing it.
Okay.
And we would like more encouragement outside for it.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you for all the representatives from the college. David, we appreciate you being with us today. They submitted slips later on, so that we'll be calling them toward the end of the public comment when we go based on when people submit their slips. I'm actually going to stop public comment for a moment to jump into the appointments, starting with number 29. The resolution to confirm the county executive's appointment of Monica McGrath to the Nassau County Bridge Authority. Moved by Legislator Gopel, seconded by Legislator Ford. Ms. McGrath, are you here? Okay, good afternoon.
Hi, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Monica McGrath, and I'm here today for the confirmation of the appointment to the Nassau County Bridge Authority. I currently reside in Hewlett. I am married with 3 daughters and a granddaughter. I've been a resident of the community for 50 years, graduate of Lawrence High School. Upon graduation from Lawrence High School, I attended Adelphi University for both my bachelor's degree and my master's degree, a bachelor's in elementary education and a master's in special education. I taught at both levels, elementary and secondary. I taught for many years at East Rockaway High School, special education. Upon the birth of my second child, I left teaching to stay home and raise my 3 children. But during that time, I continued to be active in the community, in my children's schools, at my local parish church, and doing whatever I could to help the community that I'd grown up in. And at this time, where I find myself with a little more time, just a little, when asked to serve in a different way, I was very eager to help and become involved in this new venture. And so that's what brings me here today. And I'm happy to meet all of you, tell you a little bit about myself, and look forward to serving the community in a new way. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Any questions or comments by the legislators? Legislator
Yes.
Ford.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to, I look forward to working with you on this.
Thank you.
The bridge is very important.
Yes.
As you well know, because you live in the community.
That's
so
right.
you travel over it quite often.
Many times.
And I'm hoping maybe to take some time next week to meet with you in regard to this. I know it'll be quick, but like a fast notice. But as you know, there are some concerns about the bridge, and I've been hearing from a lot of our residents. So I look forward to your leadership, your guidance, and your commitment to working with the residents and to all of us for this very much important bridge.
Thank you so much for that nice welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
We have Deputy Presiding Officer Coppell, then Legislator DeRidge-Whitten.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ms. McGrath.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I look forward to working with you as well. And I hope you're going to help get something like Easy Pass or something like that implemented really soon, because the system that they've got now is not good. Let's put it that way, not good. Unfair. You've got these cards that expire at the end of every year, with people having unused credits. Sometimes people lose quite a bit of money on that.
Right.
And that's not right. Otherwise, generally, I think the bridge is being fairly well run. Actually.
Good. As I said, I'm happy to help in any way I can.
Yeah, and I hope you just continue that.
Thank you. And I do take the position seriously, and any decisions that I would make would be well thought. I would make an educated, intelligent decision.
Great.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Legislator Whitten, and Legislator Laffason and I represent the North Shore, and there's a bridge up there. Bayville Bridge is one of the two drawbridges, and we just had a lot of work with it. But I walk that bridge quite regularly, and every time one operator especially gets my ear, he just tells me about the lack of, that they're looking for more operators, and how they can't get a day off. And
right.
So if you could just remember, number one, there's a bridge on the North Shore too, and also
Sure.
if you could just address that issue. I'm not exactly sure where we are with the number, but it would be nice to not hear about it when I'm crossed.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other legislators? All right, well, thank you very much, Ms. McGrath.
Thank you. It was nice to meet all of you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you as well. So all in favor of the appointment signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, carries unanimously. I'm going to handle the other appointments at this time. Number 24, a resolution confirming the appointment by the Nassau County Executive of Norman Samut as a judge of the District Court of the County of Nassau for the 2nd Judicial District. Motion by Legislator Rhodes. Okay, seconded by Legislator McKevitt.
Good afternoon. I'm Norman Samut. First and foremost, I'm the proud parent of a 17-year-old girl. I've been a Nassau County resident for 38 years. I studied law school. I went to law school at Fordham University, where I obtained my bachelor's degree and my law degree there. I've had my private practice for 31 years. I've had a very diverse practice. I'm grateful to the county executive for the faith he's put in me in appointing me to this position. There's no greater secular purpose than to serve your fellow man, and I appreciate the opportunity to do so.
Senator Rhodes.
Thank you so much, and this really isn't a question as much as it is a statement. I've had the honor of knowing Norman. I don't even know how long it's been. It's got to be at least 20 years.
Over 25, actually.
Yeah, 25 years. So
But who's counting?
And I know of no one better qualified who has the perfect temperament to be a judge and to sit in judgment and serve that important function. And Norman is someone of tremendous intellect, but also is someone with a passion for serving our community. And I am so thrilled to have the opportunity to be able to finally vote on that appointment today. And I think you will make an outstanding jurist, and I'm extraordinarily proud of you.
Thank you very much for the kind words. Appreciate it.
Any other legislators? No? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Carries unanimously, and I would be the first to say congratulations, Judge Samut.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have 4 appointments to the Nassau County Advisory Council on People with Disabilities. There are items 25, 26, 27, and 28. They are resolutions to confirm the county executive's appointment of Stella Spanikos, Joel Zev, Nadia Ortiz, and Laura Webster to the Nassau County Advisory Council on People with Disabilities, moved by Legislator Minority Leader Abrahams, seconded by Legislator Lafazan. So those appointments are before us. Nadia, you seem to be the first one up, so.
Holubnichi Ortiz. You are afraid of that middle part. Yes, I'm sorry. Is this better? Okay. I'd like to express my sincerest gratitude to Legislator Abrahams and the Minority Caucus for nominating me as a member of the Nassau County Advisory Council on People with Disabilities. I would also like to thank the entire legislature for the confirmation, assuming, and County Executive Blakeman for advancing this council. It is an honor and a privilege that I will not take lightly. Over the course of 20 years living in Nassau County, being the primary caregiver to 2 children, owning a house in the village of Floral Park with my husband of 22 years, I have become an active member in my community. I've become an outspoken citizen and advocate because I want to live in a world where everyone is treated equally, with respect, and with dignity. Each and every one of us, at our core, are the same. There is a universal, unbreakable bond that every person shares, our humanity. However, policies and practices in Nassau County do not ensure equal rights to our residents with disabilities as compared to our cohorts. Prejudices, assumptions, and uninformed societal norms throughout the years since 1899, when the county was formed, have shaped our community to what it is today. I look forward to working with my colleagues on the council and the legislature. Together, we will work to remove conditions that discriminate against, exclude, or hinder the full integration and participation of persons with disabilities into all areas of economic, political, and community life in Nassau County. I am excited about the potential impacts we can have collectively, and I look forward to the results. Thank you.
Legislator Giuffre, do you want to add?
Yeah, Nadia, we want to thank you. You and I know each other on a first-name basis, but we want to, on behalf of the legislature, we do want to thank you for your service to the community, and a further service to the community in this this new role. And so this council is very important to me personally, and I'm sure that you will contribute and advance the goals of the legislation.
Legislator Drucker.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Nadia, I've had the privilege of knowing you for, I guess, about the past 6 years, and your advocacy on behalf of people with challenges, I don't like to say disabilities because it's challenges, and you overcome those challenges each and every day, and your passion and your advocacy are well known throughout Nassau County. I couldn't be more ecstatic about your appointment to this position, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you, Nadia. So, okay, so we'll have some of the other appointees come up. Meantime, Kevin, please take your seat. Mr. McKenna, we can't have people just wandering up, kneeling in the well. So I'd appreciate it if you would take a seat. Thank you.
Dr. Joel Zev. I'm really excited about this opportunity working with the county in making things accessible and enhancing access for people with disabilities. I'm not saying we haven't done a lot, but there's an opportunity to do more. I'm formerly the executive director of the New York Society for the Deaf. I spent 17 years in that position. Had an office in Albertson, in New Hyde Park at the Albertson Community Center. Also served as a member of the National Advisory Committee on the Handicapped in Washington. I chaired part of the White House Conference on the Handicapped in D.C., that was many years ago. And I also really feel the largest number of people with disabilities are among the elderly. Among the elderly. Many are sometimes referred to as the frail elderly. I'm excited that this advisory group works both with the Department of Aging as well as with the Office of the Physically Challenged. It's an opportunity to really do the right thing. Older people may be deaf, blind, low vision, have a physical disability, or have a cognitive impairment. It's generally agreed that a significant number of people over 80 are not computer literate, and many in this group may also have a significant degree of other disabilities. It's a challenge. Everything we do is computer. You need a COVID exam, computer. Everything, when we're not serving those people. If you come before a meeting like this, many people who are older have low vision and are not able to read to understand what's going on. And they can't hear to understand what's going on. And they're floundering and they're homebound. Therefore, they're sometimes frequently referred to as frail elderly. The Social Services Security Administration usually refers to this group as the legacy population. The legacy population. They don't have the ability to gather information of any kind through normal channels. And I look forward to working with you and your colleagues in making things more accessible for people with disabilities and making our services available through specialized outreach services that we can work with on many levels. My work with the State Office of Aging, where I served as a member of the National Advisory Committee there, and I look forward to, I think it's going to work out great. These are fine people you've selected. I've enjoyed talking with them. Nadia I've known for a while. When she went to Viscardi, I came to New York as a member of the staff of Henry Viscardi Center and have been enjoying Long Island a great deal. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Thank you very much for your confidence and your appointment and your confirmation. Thank you.
Thank you. What are we waiting? Ms. Webster.
Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Webster. This is Cassidy. I just want to say I'm a almost 14-year resident of Point Lookout. I'm a mom of 4, and I've been a member of the U.S. national team, sitting volleyball team, for the last almost 20 years. And I just want to say thank you. I'm looking forward to working with these fine people on trying to help the residents of Nassau County, and thank you for letting us be here. And I'm going to quietly step away now. Thank you all.
Is Stella Spanicos here?
I'll make it brief. My name is Stella Spanakos. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to work and help my fellow constituents in Nassau County. I'm very grateful to the Legislative Chamber and as well as the County Executive for the nomination. I grew up in Garden City. I am a social studies teacher by profession. I've been in the field of autism now for close to 30 years now. I now reside in the Manhasset, Port Washington area. Wow, it's hard to believe, but 10 years ago, with the tsunami of individuals that were transitioning from high school to their adult life, I realized that we were in trouble. I have a 30-year-old son who is profoundly affected by autism and also has a seizure disorder. He is low functioning, so as far as a high school degree and work and all these things were very serious problems. When I was investigating what comes next, I realized the opportunities were really far and few between. There were waiting lists, and we have some serious issues when it comes to programs, housing, and opportunities for employment. So I was discussing my son's options with my husband, and in the course of this discussion, my husband tragically had a massive heart attack and died. So I was sort of left a single parent of an only child who has some profound disabilities. When you're faced with the abyss of your life and you're looking at it, there's only one of two choices. Either you rise to the occasion or else you wallow in self-pity. I decided to take everything I owned to create the opportunity, since banks don't really fund non-for-profits. And I started the Nicholas Center and Spectrum Designs Foundation. The Nicholas Center is a vocational life skill program which gives opportunities for teaching the skills and also offers opportunities and programs in the community. And I have been constantly building upon these projects and affiliations with other organizations. But also, we created a social enterprise called Spectrum Designs. We do all phases of DTG, silkscreen, embroidery. 85% of my workforce has autism. We are the largest employer of individuals with autism in Nassau County. It's possible, it's doable. We need more opportunities, and I am very grateful to bring whatever I can to the table to help improve the lives of all individuals in Nassau County, in Suffolk County. Doesn't matter. If you have disability, we need to help. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm going to open it up to other legislators, but I would just note for the record, since it's been asked, we have language line available to anyone with any hearing disabilities or difficulties. Nassau County Police Department is here to assist anyone with this device and technology who needs to use it. Legislator Dirigi Whitten, I believe you had a...
I just wanted to mention that I've been blessed to have both Joel and Stella as constituents on the North Hempstead portion of my district, and their friendship has probably been one of the best gifts I've had as a legislator. Joel, with your 4 pages worth of a resume, I've never seen a resume so long, but this has been your lifetime mission, and it really started with your son, and you can tell the passion you have. And Stella with Nicholas, I love Nicholas. I've been to many of her events. I've toured all of her facilities. If anyone ever needs any t-shirt or print work, I highly recommend that you Google her services. And we have an interesting thing because Stella raises money. She was actually doing my Trailblazer in 2020 when the world shut down. So this is the beginning of that. We'll do it again when we get the program back on. But Stella's Nicholas, who she's raised so much money for and has helped so much, and my Amanda, who has diabetes, are born on the same day. So I have that connection with her. And the two of them have influenced our lives and taken us places that we never thought we'd go. But Stella, you've been a role model for not only just the constituents, but for moms. You really, like you said, you make good, look at the situation and you decide to succeed. And that's something we all need to be reminded of sometimes. So thank you both for volunteering for doing this. I think, and all of our volunteers, you're going to really just make this world and this county a better place.
Legislator Muley.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I don't know Joel or Stella, but my gosh, what you have accomplished is just amazing, and so I'm so happy to be supporting you. But I do know Nadia and Laura, and I can say firsthand that they are outstanding people who will serve this committee well and serve the residents of Nassau County well. I think everyone is probably being a little bit humble. And I know for a fact with Laura and Nadia that there's much more that they could tell us that we would all be astounded about. And so we are very lucky to have all of you serve on this committee. Thank you.
Any other legislators? Yep.
Congratulations to all four that have been nominated and will be on this advisory council. But a very special thanks to you, Laura, because I know that Laura is a constituent in my area in Point Lookout and a very well-loved resident up there, and she's contributed a lot to the community, a great role model, and I didn't realize you had another baby, so congratulations. And you have your hands full, but I know that you will be able to fulfill your role on this board in a very important way, and I thank you very much for accepting this.
Okay. Any other legislators? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Carries unanimous, and I want to congratulate all the appointees to your new position. Thank you. All right, my apologies to those who put in slips for public comment. We're going to go right back into it. Next slip up is Jamie Bogenschutz with respect to youth services.
I wish I could sing so that I could make sure that you're all paying really good attention and stuff, but since I can't, I'm going to just read to you. So my name is Jamie Bogenschutz. I come before you today really to just talk to you about youth services and some of the issues that were confronted. So long before most of you even considered a life of government, politics, and civic responsibility, I stood before the Board of Supervisors, the body of elected officials that predated the creation of this legislative body, and even the county's revised charter. Back then, some 45 years ago, I was enthralled with the notion that there would be a room filled with county champions and warriors for humanity, advocates who would fight fearlessly for children and family for our communities. What I would quickly learn and needed to accept was that oftentimes loyalty to party and political agendas would dramatically clash with the quest to do the right things for the right reasons. A profound lesson to learn when so young, but one that would nonetheless resonate with me for decades. Back then and until quite recently, I've stood in these chambers, many of you know me, as the executive director of a community-based organization, a past president of the Chamber of Commerce, and assuming leadership roles in suicide prevention and other coalitions that focus on drug treatment and children. I thought that who I was and what I represented and what I was asking would help to bring about change, would impact and would save lives. I would work hard to make communities better and to make this county safer and stronger. I couldn't have been more mistaken. Not much has changed. Endless requests for funding on behalf of youth services seem to fall on deaf ears. Children continue to die. Families continued in chaos, turmoil, nothing dissipated. And in fact, with COVID, everything got exacerbated. And so here I stand before you, yet now as a retired executive, a parent who raised her children in Nassau County and today a grandmother, yet still is committed to finding amongst you those legislative warriors and champions who maybe, just maybe, will have the courage and will have the wisdom to do something to ensure that mental health and stability of our youth, to ensure funding is identified and increased for youth services. Over the years, and certainly in recent times, you have heard or read or perhaps even known children and families and parents whose lives have been terribly compromised. Many of those children and tragedies have been the forefront of discussion and headlines. Tragedies that we would be irresponsible to ignore, or worse yet, deny that these types of issues can happen in our backyards, because I know you know that they do happen in our backyards. Some of you might even be asking, why do we even bother funding youth services? Well, I would hope that by now, more than ever, you would understand that this system, close to 40 nonprofit organizations, neighborhood-based, county-based, serve tens and thousands of children, keeping them stable and safe when no one else can, no one else does, turning no one away when they need help. Yet, this testimony is about more than sustainability. It is about asking you to reach within and decide what's right, to decide how do you make an increased allocation to youth services happen. It's warranted, it's logical, it's ethical, it's moral. If we are to consider this county a county like no others, and I know that we do, then you must be able to recognize that a reinvestment and ongoing commitment to increased and sustainable funding for youth services is a critical ingredient to ensure a safe and healthy future for us all.
Would you please, someone?
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm wrapping up. Every system needs its warriors and champions, voices to step up when others cannot, voices to step up when stepping up is not easy. But where would we be without those champions? Youth services needs you. Our children, our families need you like they've never needed you before. Not just your words, or maybe because a heartstring has been pulled, but by taking action today to make tomorrow better for all of us. Thank you.
Andreas? I can't read the last name, I'm sorry. Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Andreas Ifestus. When I bought my house 30 years ago, my real estate taxes were $5,000. I'm a lawyer and a CPA for over 40 years. And I know a lot of lawyers and a lot of doctors and CPAs who follow your instructions on your website. We did an application to reassess the valuations. Not even one single person got $1 reduction. So a lot of them, they decided to give it to these guys they advertise on TV. Out of the blue, they get the reduction. And we, the residents, have to be penalized and pay to correct your errors because your assessed valuations are correct. So I used to be a CFO for 15 companies with 5,000 people working for me. Why you guys don't hire internally these people, they claim to be specialists, to be able to be at your website and lower everybody's real estate taxes? Why the residents of this county, which pays the highest real estate taxes in the country, have to be penalized to correct your assessed valuation in every resident in the county? I suggest, if you can put the legislation, put it into voting, to put more money to the budget, to hire people to correct your assessed valuations. People should not get penalized to have lawyers outside, which, based on our conversation, one of the legislators here claimed that these guys, they make so much money, they own islands on our expense. So why not hire experts to correct what these guys are doing? I don't know how you can fix the problem, but this is crazy. I don't think the services you offer to the county for the past 20, 30 years increased as much as my taxes. From 5 to 30, and everybody around pays 20, 30 times more than I have to pay, and we have to get penalized to correct your errors. That's not fair. This is not fair. I came to this country with $5. I walked to be where I am. I got 2 daughters that are lawyers. I'm thankful for this country. I love Nassau County, but the way things are run is not correct. This is not fair to the residents. Why you have to penalize to correct your errors? At some point, you have to do your job and hire the right people to correct their assessed valuations. According to your lawyer says that he's coming up with a report which is going to show what you guys are doing. I don't think you're doing anything, because for the past 20 years, my taxes and everybody else goes up. So I hope you do something about it. Otherwise, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. If you are working in my company I used to work, You should be fired. You don't deserve to be doing what you're doing. Thank you.
All right, Tom Bruno,
Over here for someone.
Hicksville Boys and Girls Club.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for allowing us to speak here again today. I'm here also to speak about the budget for the Nassau County Office of Youth Services. Programs in Nassau County have not received an increase since 1980s. That's almost 40 years ago. When COVID hit, the devastating effect that it had on our young people emotionally and educationally are coming to the surface now. Our programs, I remember it was March 13th. We had our Friday night basketball program. All of a sudden, Saturday morning, we got notification from the county, which came down from the state, that all these services had to stop. Young people had their education taken away, and they had every means of social interaction that they had taken away for almost 7 or 8 months. But our programs, through the Office of Youth Services, was able to mobilize and get programs out to kids virtually, and then when we were allowed, we got these programs back to the kids every day like we had done in the past. Right now, our young people are suffering dramatically from that cutback in education. We're seeing it at our program. We work very closely with the Hicksville School District. We're doing tutoring and we're doing after-school homework help for our kids. If we're going to have the next generation of our young people be able to find employment and to develop into contributing members of our society, we have to put more money back into this budget. The resources are there. So please, when it comes time to the budget vote, please don't forget youth services. Thank you very much.
Tom, I want to just thank you for all you do for our Hicksville kids, and all of you that are here from Youth Services. I want to thank you for all you do for our children. And I do hear what you're saying, especially after this pandemic. Some of those kids sat home and were very isolated for, that entire, almost a year. And even when they went back to school, some of them still actually didn't go back to school. They stayed home and did virtual learning as it continued. So it's been a very tough time for our children, and all that we can do to help them, because it's certainly taken its toll. Thank you.
Kevin McKenna.
My name is Kevin McKenna. I'm a Nassau County advocate, taxpayer, and blogger on NassauCountyNYNews.com. I had advised you all via email of the following. I had advised you of all this in email that you might not have been aware of. We have an Inspector General's office that's non-responsive. We have a County Comptroller, Elaine Phillips, that is non-responsive, who ran on a campaign of being a watchdog for the residents. They're totally unresponsive to serious issues. We have a DA's office that you, the Nassau County Legislature, has not informed the residents that we are lacking a chief of the public corruption unit. So basically right now, there's no oversight in Nassau County because the Inspector General is non-responsive and the DA's office has no public corruption chief. We have a county executive's office that right now has multiple top vacancy positions opening. We're able to budget for those positions, but we're not allowed to help the people that just advocated behind me. If any of you really cared about issues, if you stopped spending your time patting yourselves on the back and taking photo ops all the time, where were you all yesterday when advocates for the housing and landlord problem in Nassau County, when advocates were standing yesterday on the steps of the Nassau County Legislature? Where were you? You weren't there. You could watch that video on Nassau County NY News. County Executive Bruce Blakeman just sent out this first Blakeman's Bulletin. I had emailed the following. I emailed every legislator, county executive, DA, and the Nassau Police Commissioner, but not one of you has responded to this question. Are all crimes that occur in the areas not patrolled by the Nassau County Police Department, like the villages of Hempstead and Freeport, are those statistics always included in the Nassau County statistics? Why can't I get an answer to that question? Bruce Blakeman lies to the public in this waste of taxpayers' money. Bruce Blakeman says the county legislator has made progress in making Nassau County a more affordable and safer place to live. He actually tells the residents that we live in an affordable and safe place to live when you all Republicans are blasting the Democrats that the crime is out of control because of the bail reform laws. You all received, every 3 months, you all receive statistics from the police commissioner of Nassau County, and guess what? I just got a copy of them. Why haven't any of you shared the crime statistics with the residents while you're telling everybody that crime's out of control and blaming the Democrats? Why aren't you sharing the crime statistics? Because the crime statistics that I have that are posted on Nassau County NY News don't fit your narrative. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You should all resign.
Pat Boyle, Coalition of Youth Services.
Hi, my name is Pat Boyle. I'm with the Coalition of Youth Service Agencies, Nassau County Coalition of Youth Service Agencies. All politics aside, okay? Let me say that again. All politics aside. Anybody watch 60 Minutes last night? One of the things that President Biden said was that the the COVID epidemic is kind of waning. It's coming down, and he talked a little bit about that. Well, I got some news for him. That's not true. And it's not true with our young people. We're finding now more and more depression in young people because they just, they're sad about their situation, and it really has all to do with COVID. We're finding a lot of anxiety, especially in kids who are in elementary and middle school. They're always waiting for the other shoe to drop now. What happens next? Will my mommy or daddy be taken away? Although there's been strides made, it's not enough. And we don't just throw out, for the people who are newer here on the legislature, we don't just throw out basketballs and say, here, go play and have fun. We're doing counseling, we're finding employment programs, we do a lot of different things. I won't go through it all because you all know. Now, I've kind of heard through the grapevine that there's a little bit of money out there in the county. The county is in better shape than it has been definitely for the past very many years. And the fact that there is some money out there says that this is a great opportunity for you to be able to put more money into the budget so that way we would be able to provide the services that are needed. Let me give you one example for our agency alone. I used to be able to run programs in a couple of different schools with the money that the county gave us. I also get state money, town money. I do everything I can to get everything I possibly can. But right now, I can only run with the county money programs for 9 months. What do I do with the other 3 months? The other 3 months would probably be summer because our after-school programs and our homework assistance are so important. If we close down summer programs in Elmont, 250 to 300 kids have nothing to do. Their parents have to hustle everywhere to try to find a way to be able to have enough, to be able to find the resources to keep their kids safe. It's going to be something that's just going to be horrible. So please, while the money is there, please add something to our budget so that way we can provide the service that, as Jamie said before, nobody else can or wants to. Thank you very much.
Next is Claudia Boyle.
Good afternoon. No relationship to Pat Boyle. My name is Claudia Boyle, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Hispanic Counseling Center. And listen, I don't want to repeat everything that you know. I know you know statistics. I know you know what's going on. I know you know the youth are important. The only thing I can tell you is there's early intervention in every single aspect of our lives, except in youth services. Youth services is early intervention. With youth services, you prevent mental health issues, you prevent substance use issues, you prevent all the other stuff that can happen, the violence that's happening, especially in the village of Hempstead. So that's the only thing I have to tell you. You know what's going on, you understand what the problem is, but we need sustainable funding. That's all we need. We have the people to do it, we know how to do it, we have the engagement for the kids to come and do what they need to do. We just need money. We need money to do our job. That's all. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.
Thank you. Next is, hope I'm getting the name right, Tasha Lipsy. Tasha Lipsy, okay. Aaron Felix.
Good afternoon. I'm here on behalf of Eager to Serve, as many of you know. The Nassau County Department of Social Services representatives have arbitrarily and capriciously decided to cut the housing benefits of several clients because they did not want to leave the shelter and go to a hotel without reasonable cause. The fact that the clients would rather stay in a shelter and not go to a hotel speaks volumes about the support that ETS provides. The shelter billing department called the homeless shelter sometime around April 27th to inform the clients that money was put on their benefit card to go to hotels immediately. A DSS inspector came to the house and refused to come inside, but asked the staff to speak to a specific client to come with them to a hotel. They were going to give the client money on their benefit card to move out. The client was informed that they had to move and their money would be on their card, and some clients refused to leave the shelter. Therefore, their benefits were cut, indicating that DSS did not know their whereabouts. From April 27th until now, the clients have been consistently signing the sign-in sheets, recording their attendance. These sheets have been and are still submitted bi-weekly by the shelter provider. Additionally, attendance was emailed to the Department of Social Services daily, now weekly, since our Access to Spot, the shelter online tracking system, was canceled. These emails indicate the attendance and provide the whereabouts of the clients who remain in the shelter while seeking decent, affordable housing and employment. DSS continues to not do business with us, and this has caused a lot of stress on clients, employees, and shelter providers. The things I just described are so outrageous that at first I couldn't believe it. I've seen clients unable to get their medication and SNAP benefits. The issues that are going on between Eager to Serve and DSS are negatively impacting people in our community, the people we both would like to serve. All I ask is for anyone, to help Eager to Serve instead of ignoring us. There are several things that can be done now. Some of you have visited our facility, have talked to our staff, and have witnessed firsthand Eager to Serve in action. The battle we're fighting is one that is completely unjust and disappointing that it exists in the first place. If this is as important to you as it is to me, I urge you to please get involved. Thank you.
Mita Meraday?
I'm sorry?
Thank you. You're done. Thank you. I was calling the next person. Sir, you're being disruptive. Ms. Mita Meraday?
Oh, I'm here. Mita J. Meraday, resident.
I'll try to keep it brief, just trying to be reflective. This has been a hard period of time, so I have my 9/11 hat and I have my Tuskegee Airman to represent my passion and my mission for veterans. The speakers today have also spoken so eloquently with regard to the lack of in the distribution of the enormous wealth that Nassau County has. So I won't prolong my comments for a change, or maybe I will, I'm not really sure. But I stand here again with regard to the issue that has not been addressed here, which is our veterans, and that encompasses everything. That encompasses all these issues: the suicide, long COVID, lack of work development, education, reinforcing those support services. And I also tie in with Nassau Community College, and I've been speaking to the representatives here, because I think that this is an important opportunity. Again, a window is closing, as mentioned to this body a few months ago, that the state is waiting for Nassau County, which is the representative body that's in charge of the NUNC facility, that could be utilized. I mean utilized, not the distribution center for patronage, nepotism, and cronyism that seems to run rampant in Nassau County. But I also agree with the advocate who stands here filming, and I definitely support his efforts, that we need to root out the additional, and probably soon to be coming, because whenever we get money in Nassau County, somebody else runs off with it, and more communities can continue to suffer. But the federal government, and it pains me that I have to participate weekly on the White House Office of Public Engagement, which I've served on under 2 administrations, with that little blanket piece in the middle of the individual that I dare not mention. But the issues of burn pits, the PACT Act that was passed with bipartisan, which is such a rare animal in this environment, bipartisan support on the federal government. So say what you will about anybody's administration, but those funds and resources that can tie into research development and job development could be beneficial to our residents and our veterans right here in Nassau County. Newsday just posted an article about the effects of long COVID on the residents of Nassau County. Again, the federal government is coming up with guidelines right now, a federal strategy, which includes funds and resources. We can't continue to miss out on opportunities, and our students, our young people, our seniors, our veterans, and our families suffer. Again, Nassau University Medical Center can be a storehouse for research, development, workforce development, jobs, family support for the residents here, and it is time that we step up to the plate. Okay, we need to step up to the plate. And as it says in the Newsday article, a call for nonpartisanship and working together. Thank you.
Ariel Silberman.
Hello. I am a current sophomore of, I apologize. My name is Ariel Silberman. I'm a current sophomore at Nassau Community College, and I am also the proud president of the Achilles Club on campus. During the summer, I had the pleasure of running into an alumni of Nassau who graduated 40 years ago. She spoke candidly and excitedly of how much the NCC experience had changed her life. She emphasized how Nassau was the great equalizer. In her view, Nassau was a college that gave everyone a chance, regardless of their background. Nassau's goal for students was not to just succeed, but to thrive. It produced exceptional people who went on to do exceptional things. And the people coming to Nassau continue to be exceptional, but the pillars that hold up the institution are crumbling. The lack of an adequate budget for 15 years has had a substantial negative impact on everything that makes Nassau the incredible school that it is. It has put a stranglehold on our academics and clubs, put pressure on our technologists, who are the invisible backbone of our school, and support our professors. It has caused support in the Student Help Office to be scaled down, which directly hurts students, and it has put pressure on professors, who are the heart of the school, to make do with so much less, which they do, because they are incredible people who want the best for their students. But the point is, they should not have to. Nassau as a college, is only as strong as the people who teach in its distinguished halls, and they deserve the complete backing, financially and otherwise, of this legislature. That is why we are asking the legislature to work with the Board of Trustees to approve a supplemental budget for the college, to keep our academics and other programs thriving, and to bring Nassau back to the glory days that the alumni remember so fondly. I am not up here because it's comfortable for me. I hate public speaking. But I'm here in the pursuit of something more important. Nassau and the professors, more specifically, have given everything to me and helped me thrive and develop as a student. I would not be standing here speaking in front of you if the Achilles program in particular hadn't developed me like it had. Nassau and its teachers deserve better, so let's make it happen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Greg Resnick.
I'm Greg Resnick. I'm actually requesting the same thing as a supplemental budget for Nassau Community College. As alumni of Nassau Community College and former staff of Nassau Community College, I have seen the college crumbling as the quality professors are slowly retiring and new professors are not being able to come in and be paid appropriately. The future of society lies in the students, and Nassau Community College has granted myself and so many others a firm foundation in education to provide the opportunities of employment as well as moving up in society. Thank you.
Thank you. Sagi. It's the only thing I have here. It's from Island Park. Sagi. Okay.
Hi. I don't know if I'm in the right to explain what happened. I do this very shortly and very quickly. I try because it's not English, it's not my first language. Basically, I talk about my mother. My mother, she's a Holocaust survivor. She's an old lady, and she's not like the healthy lady in the life. She's 90% blind, and she need to pay the tax. My mother pay the school tax and the general tax on time, and she like everything on time. And for our shocked, we see my mother get a letter like she get penalty because she don't pay the tax on time. I spoke with the Treasury office with the guy, the name Andrew Basilio. He said, please bring me proof with the post office. I bring him proof in the post office. I have it here. I bring a proof with the stamp. With the stamp. With the stamp, with everything. He said, it's no good. You need to give me tracking number. I go and I give tracking number, everything proof. He said he don't want to help to my mother. They insult us in the phone. They talk very bad. We try to go to the legislature office. I even speak with this gentleman, the name Chris Lemon. I try to speak with David Ching. I try to speak with Bruce Blackman. Everywhere, the people dump us. The people don't respect us. We give every proof we can give, but they want the other $4,000-$5,000 for penalties, free money. My mother wins senior citizen exam by the Supreme Court. They don't honor it. They don't give. She win a grievance, 60%. I have it here. They don't want to give it. We don't know with who to talk. I be by myself, high colonel in the army in Delta Forces. I have a proof. I have a medal with George Bush in 1994. I don't know with who to talk. Everyone dump us, and they dump old lady. And he said, pay. It's only $5,000. For my mother, it's a lot of money. I try to speak with the Nis Ford. No one. I try to speak with the governor. I wait. So I don't know if somebody can hear and give to pay the right amount, my mother going to pay it right away, the general tax, the school tax. Even they don't give what the court decide. They don't give the reduction. I don't know if I talk to the right place. I know I have another 14 minutes. As I tell, thank you very much for everyone for to listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Segi.
I have all the proof if somebody needs.
Okay. Chris, do you want to speak to the gentleman?
Hi, Chris Lemoyne from the administration. I have discussed this matter with Mr. Sagi. He's been referred both to the treasurer's office and also the county attorney's office. And unfortunately, it seems, based off whatever information he has provided to the treasurer's office so far, it's not sufficient to remedy the problem. So I think he has been told that numerous times. So that's where we stand as of today.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Segi, that's, I'm sorry, we're moving on. No? Okay. Okay, we're moving on to the consent calendar, which are items that passed through legislative committees about 10 days ago. These are items that it has been agreed by the minority and majority that no further debate or discussion is required at this time. Item 1, Ordinance 52. 2, Ordinance 53. 3, Ordinance 54. 4, Ordinance 55. 5, Ordinance 56. 6, Ordinance 57. 7, Ordinance 58. 8, Ordinance 59. 9, Ordinance 60. 10, Ordinance 61. 11, Ordinance 62. 12, Ordinance 63. 13, Resolution 157. 16, Resolution 160. 17, Resolution 161. 18, Resolution 162. 19, Resolution 163. 20, Resolution 164. 21, Resolution 165. 22, Resolution 166. 23, Resolution 167. 30, Resolution 174. 31, Resolution 175. 32, Resolution 176. 33, Resolution 177. 35, Resolution 179. 36, Resolution 180. 37, Resolution 181. 38, Resolution 182. 39, Resolution 183. 40, Resolution 184. 41, Resolution 185. 42, Resolution 186. 43, Resolution 187. 44, Resolution 188. 45, Resolution 189. 46, Resolution 190. 47, Resolution 191. 48, Resolution 192. Those items are moved by Deputy Presiding Officer Coppell, seconded by Minority Leader Abrahams. Any debate or discussion among the legislators? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? They carry unanimously.
When do you read comments to the town clerk, correspondence to the board? There's emails that have been sent in to the town, county legislature. Do you read correspondence to the board?
No, that's not part of our, we don't read correspondence to the board. However,
Acknowledge the correspondence.
any correspondence that is submitted in terms of public comment is then made part of the record and referenced in the record. So,
You didn't even acknowledge it.
all right, that's fine. Next two items are items of 14 and 15 that Legislator McKevitt will be recusing himself. He's leaving the chamber, will not be participating in any debate or discussion or vote on these items. 14 is Resolution 158, and 15 is Resolution 159. These are resolutions authorizing the county attorney to compromise and settle the claims of plaintiffs that's set forth in the actions entitled Next Millennium Realty versus the County of Nassau and Park East LLC versus the County of Nassau. So that's sufficient. Motion by Legislator Kennedy, seconded by Legislator Drucker. Any debate or discussion on these two items? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Those opposed, they carry unanimously. Please invite Legislator McKevitt back in to the chambers. Next item is Resolution 34, item 34. Item 34, Resolution 178. It's a resolution to authorize the transfer of appropriations heretofore made within the budget for the year 2022, moved by Legislator Ford, seconded by Legislator Walker. So items before the board. Legislator Bino, did you have? So item 34, it's the resolution on the OEM budget transfer.
Yeah. Is there somebody here from emergency management? Actually, okay.
Hello, my name is Tom Lisa. I'm from the Office of Emergency Management.
Hi, good day, sir.
Good day.
I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about this item. I know it's a transfer, but can you tell me about the software?
Well, that's an IT, more the IT issue, but it's a
Right.
software for, to maintain the data on this county's network. I think you want an IT guy to explain it to you better.
100%.
Excuse me?
I think you are absolutely correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to take care of the like malware and stuff like that, but they'll be able to tell you.
Is there anyone here from IT? Yeah. Is there any, Chris?
I could explain why it got transferred, because
No.
originally, okay.
Yeah, I don't really need to know about that, but thank you. I appreciate you. You are
That's it?
definitely
Okay.
right. I
Thank
need
you.
someone from IT.
Hi, Chris Lemoyne from the administration. I'm sorry, legislator, I was having a conversation on the side. I didn't hear the question. You need
Nope.
someone from IT?
No problem, yes.
Okay.
It's an item that came out of Office of Emergency Management to reimburse the IT department for some software, and I had questions about the actual functionality of the software.
Okay. I don't have anyone from IT here, so I don't know if, unfortunately, I cannot answer that question. I could try to get someone if,
Okay.
or if,
All right,
I don't know if OEM is.
No, that's,
is-
OEM
Okay.
won't be able to answer the technical aspects of the software.
I could try to get you the information at a
No,
later
it's
time.
okay. I'll just speak to the presiding
Okay.
officer.
We actually do have some emergencies that just came in, so maybe if you can ask IT to come down here, we'll do the emergencies with respect to the school tax warrants and all that stuff.
Okay, perfect.
Then maybe it gives us enough time to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank.
Alrighty then, I believe, Mike, I think we have a number of emergencies that have to be called.
That is correct.
Alrighty then.
Shall I read it?
Yes.
Okay. An emergency resolution declaring an emergency for immediate action upon an ordinance to accept certified copies of certified of the county assessor as the amounts of total assessed valuation in the several school districts within the town of North Hempstead for the school year of 2022 to 2023. As to extensions of taxes, levying taxes in accordance with such certificates and authorizing and directing the execution, issuance, and delivery of a warrant on behalf of the County of Nassau and the Nassau County Legislature, and under the seal of the said county, commanding the receiver of taxes of the town of North Hempstead to collect school taxes for the year 2022-2023 and pay monies so collected to the fiscal offices of each school district and or the treasurer of Nassau County pursuant to the provisions of the county government, law of Nassau County, and the Nassau County Administration Code. Next, an ordinance to accept certified copies of certificates of the county assessors to the amounts of total assessed valuation in the several school districts within the town of Hempstead for the school year 2022-2023 as to extension of taxes, levying taxes in accordance with such certificates, and authorizing and directing the execution, issuance, and delivery of warrants on behalf of the County of Nassau and the Nassau County Legislature, and under the seal of the said county, commanding the receiver of taxes of the town of Hempstead to collect school taxes for the year 2022-23 and pay monies so collected to the fiscal offices of each school district and with the treasurer of Nassau County, pursuant to provisions of the county government law of Nassau County and the Nassau County Administration Code. Next, we have an ordinance to accept certified copies of certificates of the county assessor as to the amounts of total assessed valuation in the several school districts within the town of Oyster Bay for the school year of 2022-23, as to extension of taxes, levying taxes in accordance with such certificates, and authorizing and directing the execution, issuance, and delivery of the warrants on behalf of the County of Nassau and the Nassau County Legislature, and under the seal of the said counties, commanding the receiver of taxes of the town of Oyster Bay to collect school taxes for the year 2022-23 and pay monies so collected to the fiscal offices of each school district and to the treasurer of Nassau County pursuant to the provisions of the county government law of Nassau County and the Nassau County Administration. Next, an ordinance certifying base and adjusted base proposition for county, town, and special districts and school districts for each class of property set forth in Section 1802 of the Real Property Tax Law, and for each portion as defined in Section 1801 of the Real Property Tax included within Nassau County, as authorized by Section 1803 of the Real Property Tax Law. A resolution to include in the proceedings of the Nassau County Legislature a statement of the total assessed valuation of the properties situated in the county, town, special districts, and school districts within the County of Nassau, pursuant to the county government law of Nassau County, the Nassau County Administrative Code, the town law, the real property tax law, and the county law. And a resolution to fix the time and date of which consolidated tax warrants shall be issued to the town and city receiver of taxes for collection of taxes, an assessment levied by the Nassau County Legislature, and extend by the county assessor pursuant to the county government law of Nassau County and the Nassau County Administration Code. The end.
Okay. Motion by Deputy Presiding Officer Coppell, seconded by Minority Leader Abrahams to establish the emergency. Is anyone here from assessment?
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Estes, Deputy County Attorney, Counsel to the Property of Assessment. I'm Karen Estes, Deputy County Attorney and Counsel to the Department of Assessment. Good afternoon.
Could you briefly explain what these items are for and what the emergency is?
The emergency is that we just received the numbers from the school districts, and that's why it was an emergency, because they were late.
Okay, so I mean, my understanding is there's two districts that straddle the Nassau-Suffolk border, and those two districts are always late in getting the numbers to us.
From what I understand.
Right, and then, the emergency nature of this, though, is that this information has to be established, these items have to be passed in order for the school tax bills to be issued.
That's correct.
Right, and we're bumping up against early October when those tax bills go out.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's the nature of the emergency.
Yes.
All right, okay. Any legislative director?
Yeah, can you just explain why you just got the numbers now? Is that customary that you would get it this late?
I think we had a similar issue last year. Michelle Sparrow, who is the Deputy County Assessor, can speak to that. I think it is a reoccurring issue.
There are three, Michelle Sparrow, Deputy Assessor. There's three school districts that are split with Nassau and Suffolk. Suffolk County is on a different timeline than Nassau County.
But in previous years, has it ever been this late?
Yes.
It has been?
This meeting is a week earlier due to the holidays next week.
My knowledge and experience being here is this goes on every year. It's been going on for years, decades.
Unfortunately, yes.
Right. And again, it's partially, and maybe largely, due to those three school districts, because they're on a different calendar year or reporting year, as the rest of the school districts located wholly in Nassau County get their numbers in a timely fashion, you still have to wait for those districts to come in to finalize these items.
That's correct.
All right. Any other questions on the emergency? Let's say Director Whitten.
Now, the disclosure forms are going to be sent out as well?
I'm sorry, the disclosure forms.
The 511 notices?
Yes, I don't have the ability to speak on that at this point. I'm here only for the emergency. Matt Cronin and Danny Ross are at a conference, an assessors conference upstate. Danny Ross and Matt Cronin are at an assessors conference upstate.
Okay, I guess our concern is just to get everything done as orderly as possible. I understand.
I understand what you're saying.
I understand, but we just don't want to have it because
I have a meeting scheduled this week in reference to the 511 and disclosure notices. We hope to have that issue resolved shortly.
Okay, if you could possibly let us know when that is resolved.
Sure.
Just in case, that'd be good to send us all the email.
Okay.
Group email.
I'll make sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other debate or discussion on these items? Before we move ahead, I just wanted to correct the record. The motion was made by Deputy Presiding Officer Coppell, seconded by Legislator Director Whitten. So these 7 items are up for an emergency vote. So all in favor of establishing the emergency signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? The emergency is established. Now I will call the items. I'm not going to read the same things that our clerk just read, but just briefly, we have items 311, 312, 313, 314, 315, and 316. These include ordinances to accept certified copies of the total assessed values of the school districts in the several towns. The one item certifies the base and adjusted base proportions. One provides a statement of total assessed value of properties, total assessed valuations of properties in the county, town, special districts, and school districts. And a resolution fixes the date and time on which tax warrants shall be issued. So I'm going to ask for motions. Legislator Walker proposes that. Moves that, seconded by Legislator Schaefer. So now those items are before the legislature. Any debate or discussion on the items? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. There is no public comment on this portion. No, there isn't. The rules of the legislature. It's the rules of legislature, so there is no public comment. Thank you, Mr. McKenna. We already heard you, Mr. McKenna.
On this resolution, why don't you want to?
Well, it's been approved. It's been approved, and we're going back to the item. Mr. Chris, do we have someone here from IT? Or no?
We do have Al Perez. He's coming. I apologize. He's not here yet. He's making his way over from 1 West. He should be here momentarily.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. And he just doing a quick briefing on the item because IT wasn't expected to be here today.
Might provide you with helpful information. How do you like that?
All right. Going back to item 34, which is the resolution 178. There's been some debate or discussion. Any further debate or discussion among the legislators? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Those opposed? Carries unanimously. There were several residents who wanted public comment. We'll have a short public comment period. Same rules, 3 minutes, and you're done. Mr. Sagi, I can tell you that the legislature is not able to intervene in your situation. You've been dealing with the people from the administration. From what I'm told, you have not given them the correct information to change what it is you want changed, so there's no point in you coming back up. Ultimately, the legislature, I hear you, but Mr. Sagi, the legislature cannot intervene, cannot direct the administration to do what you want. So basically, you either Mr. Sagi, either you provide them what they want. If that's not correct, you'll have. Okay, but there's nothing this body can do. No, it doesn't. Regardless of what's in your envelope. I'm sorry. Regardless of what's in your envelope, there's nothing this legislative body can do on this item.
Correct. I already told Mr. Sagi I will have a conversation with him.
Okay.
He says he might have some more information. I already told him I will talk to him. The legislature is not the place.
All right. Mr. McKenna, you have 3 minutes. Yeah, we are. All right, 3 minutes. Start the clock.
Kevin McKenna, Syosset, New York. I'm glad the public is waking up. I'm glad that they're paying attention. You're going to start to see a lot more people coming to these meetings, trust me.
Okay.
They realize what's going on here. It's a whole sham. And unfortunately, the Democrats are afraid to speak up. On this resolution, which I'm first hearing about, and I want to offer information, especially to Legislator Drucker, who I know is very familiar with this area. And he showed some concern before, which I appreciate, and I'm sure residents appreciate. Why would we want to give the town of Oyster Bay the authority to do anything? And let me tell you what's taking place right now in the town of Oyster Bay that you're probably not aware of. The town of Oyster Bay is promoting the fact that they're knocking down zombie homes, and this might be the reason why the school districts are having a problem getting the information. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. They're knocking down houses under the guise that they're zombie homes. They have recently knocked down 2 houses, and they weren't zombie homes. They're working behind the scenes with the banks. And the bank is getting the town of Oyster Bay to do their dirty work and knock down a house because of foreclosure issues, but the town is telling the public that they knocked it down because it was a zombie home. Okay? And I just found out that the town of Oyster Bay has publicly said at board meetings that the taxpayers don't have to worry about the labor costs of knocking down the house because they tack the labor cost onto the property taxes, and eventually the owner of the property pays that. That's what they've told the public. I just found out from a town of Oyster Bay employee that the town of Oyster Bay is padding the foreclosure money that the bank is going to go after the person who supposedly was in foreclosure. And the town is probably adding exorbitant charges onto the back end of the mortgage that the property owner owes, but the town's telling the public they're knocking it down because it was a zombie house. And there's going to be a lawsuit forthcoming very, very soon about a homeowner that had their house knocked down in Hicksville that clearly wasn't the zombie home, and it's just absurd what's taking place. I strongly suggest that you look into this area. Thank you very much.
Meta J. Maraday. My concern, again, has to do with what are considered either rules of order, rules of motion, or just general rules when we're talking about a public forum. If this is supposed to be a public hearing and residents are supposed to have an opportunity to discuss and to hear and to learn, it's very difficult when you have shifting sands in terms of the interpretation of when we can speak, how long we can speak, what we can speak about, what we hear about, the information that we receive. So if there's an emergency item that all of you have access to and we elected all of you to represent all of us, it would behoove all of you or somebody who's representing me, whether it's my legislator directly or someone, to at least have the courtesy to provide that information to those of us who are here. It's not like the room is packed, sadly, and this is vital information. It ties to budgets, it ties to houses, and as spoken earlier, people are losing their homes across the country, but particularly in Nassau County, okay? The gentleman here is desperate to try to get help for a situation that somebody who may be listening or in this room who can directly help him to help his family so he can stay here. And just to sit here and to be told, well, you can't speak about that issue, but we can give you like 2 minutes over here. Don't toss me a bone when the blood, sweat, and tears of me and generations before me have built the foundation, literally laid the concrete in the building that we're standing in. For me not to be able to address the issue and to ask a question that 19 or 18 of you sitting there should have asked. Maybe the school district that is repeatedly late needs help. You just had teachers and students from Nassau Community College saying they're straining at the bit, the infrastructure is falling apart. Did anybody ask the question? Did the school district need help to get the paperwork in? No, I didn't hear it. I sat here. I didn't hear it. Have we fully lost the full compassion as to what is going on out here? We have young people committing suicide. The VA, on a program that I was a part of and still waiting to find out, they had 3,000 applicants for a program called Mission Daybreak to address the enormous strain that is happening to our veteran population that's increasing their level of suicide and our young people. So I don't think it was out of the realm to ask a question about what is going on in our school systems. They're straining at the bit as well. We're all trying to come off of the pandemic. So I think that we need to step back for a second. Let's reassess. You took some kind of oath, some kind of pledge when you took your seats here. And some of you have literally been warming them seats for a bit too long if you've forgotten why you got there to begin with. So I thank you, presiding officer, for giving me something that I did not have to ask for. I shouldn't have had to ask for. I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, you should have been listening to what we were talking about. The problem was not with a school district not having resources. The problem was not having clerks. The problem was not having staff or personnel. But as I said repeatedly, there are 3 school districts that straddle the border. Those 3 school districts have to deal with Suffolk's year for sending out their tax bills, et cetera. So those 3 school districts every year are late. It's not because we had to give them resources. They are late because they had to deal with 2 separate years, 2 separate municipalities. So, and as I explained before, these documents, these emergency items which we pass every year, largely by emergency, allows the school districts to send out their tax bills in a timely fashion so people can pay those tax bills and know what those taxes are. Has nothing to do with the town of Oyster Bay, has nothing to do with zombie houses. So, I mean, I gave you an additional 3 minutes, but honestly, all we got was just a bunch of rhetoric. So, maybe I just made it. So, right. All right, anyway, motion to adjourn. Let's. Motion to adjourn by the entire legislature, seconded by the presiding officer. All in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye. Aye.
Excuse me, sir. I can prove it. I can show you something.
The man has proof. Who wants to hear him?
Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. I have the proof. I can show you.
Does anybody care?
I have a proof. I have a proof. Everyone can see I have a proof.